welcome to Angel in the Ways.
Hello, well, yeah, right. What she said. She's the girl. You know, it's funny that you would mention that.
Mention what?
Well, remember last week when we were together? I have to look at my list. Oh, yeah.
Oh, we talked about the Osama bin Laden
yes,
controversy.
The Osama
Okay,
bin
yes.
Laden, let me just say.
Let me just say, first of all,
Go,
2
go.
weeks in a row, good humidity.
Good, you mean beautiful hair? See, isn't that nice? Don't you look just like a girl? Very feminine, very
I
nice.
hope I look like a girl.
Okay.
If I don't look like a girl, we got some problems.
You know, it's just, well, I mean, you have. But there's probably a lot of people don't even look at the side of the screen. They only look at you. They listen to me when I talk, but they still look at you.
They look at the faces I make.
Yeah, right. Okay, let me see. Probably so. There's a couple of things I want to get into, but one thing I just wanted to tag into what we talked about last week. We are doing exactly the wrong thing. Exactly the wrong thing.
In regards to what?
We are producing corn and turning it into ethanol, which is driving up the price of corn and the price of food. We are not drilling for oil, which is what we should be putting in our cars, not ethanol. We are doing exactly the wrong thing, driving up the prices of both because we are doing exactly the wrong thing. That's all I wanted to say.
I'm going to tell you, coming from farmland and being surrounded by corn and soybeans, that those ethanol is what kept some farmers in business these last couple of years.
Well, while that's okay,
I'm not saying that I agree with, yes, I think we should be looking for alternative methods of fuel. I don't think that everything should be oil-based because eventually the earth is going to run dry.
Right, but that's 200 years away, and right now we're not looking for. In other words, the problem right now is we're not dealing with the present.
No,
that's
we're not.
why we got $4 gas, because we're not dealing with no matter what these people want to do in the future. And Princess, you know what I hope someday we find something like fusion or something that doesn't use any of those things. But today and tomorrow and for the next 20 years, we're going to be having oil in our cars. Even if we find something tomorrow, we're not going to be able to phase it all in. So we're not thinking of today. And ethanol it's like we're trying to find a way to not use oil, and we're driving up the price of corn. You know what food is costing? I'm just seeing what food is going through the roof. Food.
Did you know in Florida, we are the sunshine state, right? We don't have, we are like very low when we look at the states using alternative energy sources. We don't, there's not a lot of solar panels. At all. I mean, you could probably put solar panels on every public facility, or private.
Right, but probably the reason they're not doing it is because it's not cost effective. And then what do?
I think it is cost effective.
Well, no, but I think it's so expensive. In other words, we haven't brought down the price.
Yes, it's expensive. It would be less expensive if Florida had some sort of tax break for it.
Yeah, but the
and
problem,
we don't. The state of Florida doesn't. Well, we don't do state taxes, but Florida does not offer tax breaks to businesses that do that, which I find very concerning.
And the other problem is, think about this: all of these people.
We are probably the least environmentally conscious state, Florida.
Well, but I don't know. No, but that's not. You can't say that completely because we got a lot of wetlands. We got a lot of. In other words, let's say we have different focuses environmentally because there's a lot of land that we protect. There's a lot of
there is, but there's also
that's environment too.
That is, I agree with that.
Okay, fair. You mean
but
fair?
I think when you look at places like Connecticut or even out in California, they are doing everything that they can to.
They're crazy in California. Those people are not. They're not well. Oh no.
But I think they have some sort of state mandate or something that I don't know. There's something weird.
But they're going bankrupt trying to live up to these things, and they can't. And the fact of the matter is, if we were drilling for oil in Anwar or in the Gulf or wherever, we didn't have an EPA preventing us from refining it ourselves, the oil would drop, the price would drop, And that money could be used for other things. And if we didn't have so many people tying everybody else, if we didn't have so many regulations tying so many hands, maybe we could actually have a breakthrough and find something new. Right now, we have a government that is not conducive to the next spark. Do you know that we've got a government that's trying to get people to get electric cars, and we're trying to shut down coal production, which is where we get our electricity? You know what I'm saying? Hello, is anybody home? Do these people even understand? They don't. And it's sad that they don't. This guy was a community organizer. He came in, the people he's got around him, which I don't believe he put around him. I believe he put people around him that he was told to put around him. They had no idea. These were hippies when I was growing up. These were the same goofballs that were out there blowing up buildings. And now they're running the country. They were insane then. They're still insane. Yeah, I just don't understand it. But I didn't want to just get into it. But that was the point I wanted to make. I'm sorry. Go right ahead. Then I'll bring up the next
Keep
topic.
trying to have. My parents live on a considerable amount of land. Like I said, farmland is
Sure.
where I grew up, and on one side of our house is, the cornfields, and on the other side of the house are some horses or whatever. It's always smelled kind of funny around our house, but it's very windy in this, in the Chicago area. It's very windy in
Right.
Chicago.
Right.
I mean,
Windy City.
Well, let me tell you, the nickname the Windy City isn't because it's so windy. That nickname actually came from a writer came in. I think it was a writer, an author of something came in and was amazed at how fast-paced people moved
Really?
around him. The business people going from
Right.
whatever, that he was like,
Sure.
it was like they just blew by him.
Right.
So
Ducking machine guns, probably.
Yeah, we were windy.
Just
That's
kidding.
but that's where it came
That's
from.
where it came from. It wasn't
because
actually
of the wind, right?
Okay. But you're back
Anyway,
at your house.
it's windy there. When hurricanes come by in Florida and they say, "Oh, it could get up to like 60-mile-an-hour winds."
Yeah, it's a breeze, right?
That's that's what we call in Illinois a gusty day. I'm like, I've seen her. I could tell you that I've seen what a hurricane. I've seen what hurricanes do in Florida. It's pretty similar to what the big storms do up by my parents' house. You look outside and the trees are trees are
bending.
horizontal,
Right,
and
right.
the rain's horizontal, and you're like, holy cow!
Must be Saturday.
Yeah, it's like it's spring.
Right, it's spring.
And the snow falls horizontal too in the winter. Like,
right.
it's just everything goes forward. But I keep trying to get my dad. I'm like, you should put a wind turbine out there. Because I told him, I said, it's just my parents, and
Right.
if he was to put a wind turbine out there, he would probably generate enough electricity to run the house,
Right.
and probably even more so because it's so windy, he could sell it back to the electrical company.
Well, the problem is, they're huge, they're noisy as hell, and there
There's
are,
5 acres of land. You could put
Princess,
them back out there.
you-
And it can't be any noisier than the horses making all the crazy sounds
you
or
might
the.
not think so, but
I think that you
these
should do
things,
it.
you have until you see one up close,
That's true.
you have no idea how huge
I
these
believe
things
they're
are.
huge. I believe they're huge.
They are huge, and on 5 acres of land, I mean, that thing.
I
Let
believe
me
it.
tell you, what about the poor birds and everything else?
Don't worry about the birds. You hit them with
Okay.
the golf balls.
Well, where's
That's
all
how
this,
much land there
where-
is.
Where's,
You
where's
could
this,
sit in the back. You can stand in the backyard with your golf and practice.
Where,
No, I tried practicing.
Where's
Not very
this
good.
concern about our environment? Killing birds with golf balls? That doesn't seem like you.
I didn't kill him. Are you kidding me?
You watched?
It happened once. And it was an accident.
Okay, that was an accident.
It was an
Good.
accident. It truly was one of those, like, here's the bird flying by, and they take the swing and just whoop, and you're like, holy cow.
Yeah.
I even looked at my dad. I was like, you've never had a ball go straight before. And the one time you do it, it hits the bird. The one time the ball goes straight, it's
Oh, he's
I'm
going to
like,
be really
"Oh."
thrilled with your assessment of his
Sorry,
golfing.
sorry, Daddy, I love you.
You'll get an email in the morning. One of the things, listen, on the show that we lost because of my thing, I just wanted to talk about this. Oh, you know what was cool about this? There is a show. I'll do this really quick because it's you've heard this before. There's a movie called High Noon. It stars Gary Cooper and
Clint Eastwood?
Gary Cooper and Grace Kelly, one of her first films that she was ever
Oh,
in.
yeah.
and it's about these guys coming to town to kill this guy, the marshal. And the point that I was trying to make was that, wow, it's been a long time, huh, since we've seen that little flashing red light. Okay, well, we'll get to that in a second. The point that I was trying to make is that if Clint Eastwood made that movie now, he would just go down to the train station and blow them all away and kill them. He wouldn't just run around the town trying to get help. And I don't know, I just always hit me that way. Why was he so concerned about that? I would have gone down and arrested him or something. I wouldn't have just sat and let 3 guys waiting to come and kill me.
Well, you wouldn't have a movie if you just went down and arrested them.
That's probably true. Hey,
I think that it may, I've not seen the movie, but maybe it was an attempt at being civil, and that violence is not the answer.
Well, he was the strong American, okay, and these guys were Americans too. But you know what I mean? I mean, yes, I buy that. And of course, you want to keep in mind that in those days, morality, we actually had morality. This is a long time ago. We had morality.
I have morality.
You may have morality.
Sometimes it's low.
Okay. You know what I'm talking about. What I'm trying to say is that
sometimes, not always. I'm a very good girl.
This guy was, supposed to be doing the right thing. And, the right thing, of course, well, he was the marshal, and he was to handle it the proper way. I just think if they remade that movie today, it would have a different outcome. Yeah. It might be more like Open Range with Kevin Costner. Wow. I saw Kevin Costner in the Robin Hood movie. No Errol Flynn. Let me share with you, Kevin Costner is a great cowboy. He was great in Wyatt Earp. He was horrible in Robin Hood. He's not Robin Hood.
I like the Errol Flynn Robin Hood.
That's a great flip.
I have seen that on VHS, DVD, and Blu-ray.
Right, I got it. It's a great film. I have the restored version. It's a romantic film.
I like Men in Tights better, but I like the Robin Hood.
But that's a comedy, Men in Tights. Okay, now this is gonna.
Are we taking a 2-second break?
Yeah, we're gonna take a 2-second break. Watch this. I can refill this. Okay, and we want to get out of 24. Okay, now we're back. Okay, now let me take this out. Oh. It says here. Oh, let me talk about this one too, because we talked about movies. So let me just talk about this for a second too. I turn around. Sorry, forgive my back. There is a movie that's out now about the death of Lincoln.
Okay.
About the Lincoln conspiracy. And I just want to share with our folks at home that if you want to see what happened to the death of Lincoln, in my humble opinion, find David L. Walper's Walper Productions or Walper Presents The Lincoln Conspiracy.
That's not the same thing as the one that's out there.
No. Lincoln was shot 5 days after the end of the war. The myth that we are told, that we are sold, was that John Wilkes Booth, acting alone, shot Abraham Lincoln because he cared about the South and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's maybe what was sold. But the fact of the matter is, Lincoln was killed under the auspices of Secretary of War Stanton because Lincoln wanted to what's the right word? He wanted to repair the South. He wanted to rebuild the South. He wanted to bring the country together. And Stanton and some of the other folks that won the war, they wanted vengeance. And they killed not just Lincoln was shot that night. Lincoln was shot. Another guy was stabbed. The vice president was. There was I don't know how many, 3 or 4 people that were attacked that night. Lincoln was not alone. Booth was not alone. There was nobody with Lincoln. He got in. He had access to leave. He went down a road that was supposed to be guarded. All of these things were under the control of Secretary of War Stanton.